So thank you so much for being here and to be open to listen about my story working as a Afro-Latina woman in technology. So my name is Veronica Rodriguez. I am from Cali, Colombia. Yay! If you are a salsa lover or a salsa enthusiast, you know the Cali is the capital, the world capital of salsa. One thing we do really good is cook good food and dance salsa extremely well. We're known worldwide because of that. I have a major in economics. I'm an economist who has been working her whole professional career in tech, basically. I've worked since before I graduated with software projects, and my passion is fraud, identity, and fintech products. And most importantly, I am a self-taught master's, meaning that I do not do well in classrooms. I like to learn by myself. I learn English watching YouTube videos. Everything I know about coding and technology, I've done it via YouTube, Coursera, boot camps, short-term forms, and most importantly, messing up, learning, and going forward. That's how I am. Okay, so why I'm here, and I would love to share my story, but not only my story, but the road that I have walked with some folks that look like me from my country to try to replicate the opportunity that we had to transition into technology. As I mentioned, I'm an economist, but I've always worked in the software industry. So basically, I'm gonna start talking about where I'm from, which is Colombia, and how is the tech industry in Colombia right now. So Colombia, in the past years, has become like an important tech hub in the south of the continent, in South America. A lot of US-based companies have opened branches in Colombia. There's a lot of nearshoring companies that have been created in the south of the continent, specifically in Colombia, because there's some cost-effective benefits, let's call it like that, to hire Colombian talent. Let alone our values, we're very committed, we're very professionals when it comes to work, but we share time zones. And distance-wise, Colombia is pretty close to the US. So people from the US can easily fly to Colombia, and we can easily come back here. So those and additional reasons make Colombia like a great hub to allocate for tech companies that are trying to make their operations a little bit more cost-effective. So, inside of Colombia, there's this beautiful city called Medellin, that I'm not from, but I live there, that has become Colombia's actual tech hub, and they are calling themselves the Silicon Valley of Latin America, or that's the end up goal. There's a lot of government effort and private effort to turn the city into that. There's a lot of tax exemptions that the government had approved to encourage more and more companies to move to the country, but also to encourage Colombians to create and become tech founders as well. We have IBM, we have a Google office there, we have Oracle. There's a lot of big and small tech companies allocated in the city, and that had brought something similar that we're experiencing here, which are basically the tech conferences. So there's a lot of volunteering happening, a lot of community events. PyCon Colombia is held in Medellin. The JSConf is held in Medellin. The Google Dev community is very active in Medellin. So the volunteer, the tech scene, the community tech scene is very bright and high in the city. There's a lot of events. I realized that there were so many events during the pandemic because I was able to join virtually, and once we were able to be out again in the street, I realized that maybe it was time for me to move to the city and experience the events in person. So I just basically packed 2 bags and decided to say bye to my family and move to Medellin. So as soon as I joined, I started making friends. I started going to community events. I was saying yes to everything and anything. If you count me, if you have pizza and beers and people talking about technology, come me on. Please join me. I went to so many. When I was doing this presentation, I didn't realize how many events I have attended. And soon I become an organizer. So when I was, at some moment, I was a person that got benefits from the tech communities, from people volunteering their time, checking my LinkedIn profile, reviewing my CV, teaching me skills. Once I was able to move up in my career, I decided to give back and like replicate what someone else did for me at some point and like basically pass the ball around. But during my frequent attendance to the meetups, to the event, to the conferences, to the boot camps, to the workshops, etc., I started realizing something. If you're Black, if you're Latino, if you're a minority, if you're a woman, this is something that we unconsciously do every time we walk into a room where we don't know people, and this is that you start looking for your own. So you start looking at accents, like hearing accents and looking at name and looking faces. And I started to realize that like, hey, I think I'm the only one. Am I the only one that looks like me here? If you look at the picture before, Latinos were very mixed. We're a part of mix of different colors, but like me, I started to realize that I was the only one. There was like one person that I could see at an event at a corner, and then I'll go say hi and introduce myself and like, let's share our contacts, let's add us in social media, we should do something. But it was just me and maybe another one. And it became a recurring thing in the back of my head. I was enjoying the events, but I was becoming more and more aware of something is missing. I don't see my people. Working in tech has changed my life. I know this can do wonders to others that look like me, that are underrepresented communities, that are in areas of the country where maybe opportunities are not so easy to obtain, where maybe a formal education is something that's not affordable, but they can definitely access to a Coursera course, to a boot camp, to a shorter form of education that would allow them to start their professional career and impact positively their lives and their communities. Same as happened to me. So I wonder, where are my folks? Where's my people? As a fun fact, Colombia is the second country with the largest Black population in South America, right behind Salvador Bahia in Brazil. So there's a lot of us in the country. As soon as you land, especially if you land into my city, if you go to Cartagena, Barranquilla, you see us. If you go down south, you see us. But if you go to the capital, to the main cities, to the ones that are mentioned in the reggaeton videos, in the Netflix not so fun series, you won't see us as much. So when I Googled 4 years ago, this is in Spanish, so Spanish quick lesson. Colombian engineer. I Googled Colombian engineer. I was like, if I'm seeing this, maybe the world is also seeing this. If I'm noticing this, maybe the world is not even aware that someone like me, or my little brother, or the people in my community, or the people from my parents' hometown exist. And I was like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just searching around. I need to change my wording. I think I'm being clear. So this is Colombian developer, Spanish 101. Now you know 3 words. You know words in Spanish. So I was like, maybe I'm looking it up. So I was like, dang it. This is most likely an issue. I should be bothered. I should be more bothered. But one thing about me is that I am not a complainer. I'm going to complain, for sure. But I am a doer. So if something annoys me, I will do something about it, most likely. So what if Colombian engineers look like this? Have we thought about that? Have we considered that? When you close your eyes and think about an engineer from Colombia, and you're talking to them, not on a video call, but just a call, cameras turned off, have you ever thought about the idea that a Colombian engineer can look like this? Or maybe like this? Colombia has a very large indigenous population. We have in the Amazon, we have in the Caribbean, we have in the Pacific region, and no one is aware of the existence, the variety of ethnicities that the country has. And when you talk about technology, most engineers and most people that have access to the industry look a certain way because of the location, structural decisions, etc., etc. But it's okay to also allow ourselves to think that in the industry there's a space for people that look very different. Something that I loved about PyCon and coming here is that I've seen so many hair colors, so many outfits. Like, I'm loving it. Skin colors, hairstyles, and it should be like this. Like, this should be replicated throughout the world. It should be a worldwide experience. And in Colombia, it's not necessarily like this yet. So, as you know, I'm an economist, so I love my data, like I have to, bring a little bit of numbers into it. So this is from a McKinsey study, and in Colombia, our statistics department is not the best, so this is very US-based. So if these numbers make you worried, Colombia is worst, just as an FYI. So according to this study, women hold only 26.7% of tech jobs, while men hold 73.3% of these positions. Asian Americans hold 20% of the positions, Latino 8%, and Black people 7%. And in this case, this is Black people from the US. Like, imagine an Afro-Latina woman like me, where I'm like intersectional. I am Latina, I'm Black, and I'm a woman. Like, the percentage gets a little bit smaller every time. Another one, white Americans hold 62.5% of the jobs in the US in the technology sector, and 83.3% of executives in the US in the technology sectors are white. So let's talk about diversity and why it's important to keep talking about it. And a few hours ago, I had removed those slides because I was a little scared to talk about diversity in this moment, but I don't care, so I just decided to put them back again. I think it's extremely important to talk about diversity, not because it's just not a moral thing to do, but it's also beneficial for your company, for your industry. Diversity brings growth, development, and innovation. Okay, I think this pulled down. Okay. Oh, you guys Spanglish. Benefits of diversity. Beneficios de la diversidad. You foster innovation. The more people and the more different they are, they come from different backgrounds. As of now, May 6th, the 17th of 2026, I am the only Black person in Colombia that holds the title of product manager. And I don't work for a Colombian company. I work for a US-based, in San Francisco, software company, meaning that in this moment, there's no one that looks like me building product for Colombians. So if you build an app for facial recognition for a bank in Colombia, there's most likely that app is not gonna be tested in someone with melanin, someone with my features, with my mouth, with my nose. And you think those things do not matter, and they do, because that happened to me in the past, because I'm an early adopter when it comes to fintech products. Another thing, you improve your decision-making. If you see it in a room, a lot of people who come from the same city, from the same college, who play golf together, they're most likely gonna agree. So there's no pushback. You don't create questions. You need different people coming together to a middle ground, because that will guarantee a better decision-making process. And market expansion. It's most likely that people in the Pacific area, in the Caribbean area, that my family is from, and that most Black communities are located in Colombia, are going to adopt a project when they see someone that looks like them, building it, launching it, being part of it, because they see themselves as part of something, as being included. So it also will allow you to access to more users, market, money. That's what we want. So what can we do? We talk a lot about mentorship and let's mentor kids and let's have a mentee and I want to become a mentor. We need more sponsorship and less mentorship. Meaning, if I hear about an opportunity, give me my CV. I will guide you through this opportunity. Mention people's names, make the calls, prioritize, analyze the way you're making choices. Be more of a sponsor and less of a mentor. We are in a mentorship oversaturated market. We need more sponsors. We need more mentors. Less mentors, more sponsors. Sorry. And allow Black leaders to shine. Do not talk for them. Let people speak. let people express their feelings, do not represent, give them the tools and the platforms like PyCon did to me, and let us express ourselves and share our message. I saw this at the Figma conference, the design tool that we use, like 3-4 years ago, and that this phrase marked me forever, because we should not design and build anything for us without us. Like anything and everything that's built should include most people at the table. We cannot always aim to include everyone, but we will have, like, the ideal will be to include as many people as they have. Like nothing about us without us. Like you're not create anything for, in my case, Afro-Colombians without Afro-Colombians helping you build, design, create, etc. I think it's very important to like reinforce this message. So, as I was mentioning before, I'm not a complainer. I'm going to complain, but I will do something. So, as I was mentioning at the beginning of this talk, I was joining events and attending, and I will see one black photo at a corner, and I will join and say my name and like let's share contact, and I will have like in my messages. So we start to like unite ourselves and create a group chat, and there were like just 5, which is a lot. At the moment, that was a lot of quorum. So we were like, okay, let's do something. Like, who's joining? Like, what are we doing? No idea, but like, let's get together and do something. Let's build something. So it started off as a brunch on a Sunday, just like today. Let's meet up, let's grab some food, let's talk about our experience, and let's see how it goes. Like, still no idea what's happening. And that's how Digital Diaspora was born, which is basically a tech community born in Medellin with people from all over the country, even outside, that are either Afro-Colombians or are allies or want to get involved or want to help or just want to, chill with us. It's open to everyone. It started off as a breakfast, but then we started to get together. In this picture, the lighting doesn't work, but we created the logo, so we were like sharing our t-shirts and like pad mouses, and we were getting excited, like this is taking form, this is making sense. We were starting to attend to community events, and one thing that started to happen is like in the group chat, we were saying like, oh, we're having this event in this place, who's going? Like, we got invited, and then because my friend is going, that looks like me, I'm more encouraged to go, and then the other one goes. So we started to increase our attendance to tech events and became more present, and it was just not me and another one, but there were 5, 6, and it started to replicate. We started to get invited to bigger community conferences in Medellin. This is Pioneras Conf, which is the largest community for women in tech that Colombia has, with different branches throughout the whole country. So we were a community invited to the event. I am also part of Pioneras because I'm a woman. And you can see our logo. Oh no, it doesn't look like that, but we're there. Okay, so our DNA, nonprofit, we're just doing it just purely for the community, for the community, by the community. We're Afro-Colombian. We want to encourage people to join the industry, to understand the opportunities that they have, to understand that they not necessarily need to go through formal education, because that's a huge educational barrier in Colombia for underrepresented communities, that there's other ways. We want to encourage creation of technology, not only consumption. I was mentioning in a talk that I had yesterday. And yes, we want to encourage and increase the presence of Afro-Colombian people in technology. I'm not proud to be called the only product manager in the country. I want to have a community full of Black product managers building product, creating product, making impact in the country, including everyone, because we know what's like to not be included. That's the end goal. This was our first only meetup done in Medellin. This was sponsored by a US company. I think I owe you the name, I just forgot it. They lent us their office space, they provided snacks, they gave us t-shirts with our logo. We were able to like raffle them out because there were not enough. And it was just an amazing moment. thanks to the community, we have been included and we have been invited to different government-led initiatives. So right now, this is so sad to say, but we are working with the Ministry of Technology, now with a group of activists that they are presenting a law to the Ministry of Technology to force by law the government to guarantee coverage of electricity and internet in Black regions in 2026. So that gives you a little bit of context of our community back in the country. The goal is to have it by law, like forcing the government, whatever is in charge, to guarantee always having Wi-Fi and electricity for most Black populated areas in the country. Also, we have been partnered with TransUnion. TransUnion gave us for free a training bootcamp for members of the community. There were like 30 people were able to join and attend on a weekly basis. And at the end, after the bootcamp and the training, they hired 3 people from the community. And that was amazing. There were people that went to school for something different and wanted to make a transition, wanted to do something else with their lives. And TransUnion said, like, the people that you have are not ready yet, but like I can train them. And the rest of them, if they're good enough, I'll hire them. And they commit, like, they definitely delivered. We joined Manos Visibles, which is a nonprofit organization owned by the first Black minister that we had in Colombia, called Paula Moreno, an amazing woman. And Manos Visibles is founded by the Ford Foundation. So we do a lot of work with Manos Visibles and their programs. We combine efforts a lot of the time, and it has been very helpful. Also Platzi, which is an edtech platform in Colombia. We have some friends inside of the company, and they give us scholarships for people to give them out so they can access to online courses and like train themselves at home. At the Digital Diaspora, a lot of branches have been born. So this is Ubuntu Tech, another community that was founded by Valentina, which is in the audience, and Brigitte, another member of Digital Diaspora, and they went to El Chocó. They're going back this year. They went to El Chocó, which is an area in Colombia that you will lose power at least once a day, on a good day, a great day. So when people are like, oh, just teach them how to code, and I'm like, yeah, they have no power. Like, they can't even charge their phone. How am I supposed to learn how to code? So they went last year, full audience, people were extremely excited. This is a picture just of the volunteers. Like, the room was full of people willing to learn, because I know what it's like to feel like you're hungry to learn, you're hungry to work, to provide for your family, to provide for your community, to not escape, but like to go out and then come back, giving back, etc. So there's always this, it's never an issue of like, we don't have people to help. Like, it's like more of like, we need more hands. So I will invite you to, please follow us on Instagram. This is the Instagram of the community, Digital Diaspora, and connect with me. That's my, the QR code will guide you to my Linktree, where I have a list of different links to contact me, and that's my ad on Instagram as well. Feel free to follow me if you want. I post in Spanish. I will try to be a little bit more bilingual, but like feel free to connect. And thank you so much. If you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand, and you have to go. I was told that you have to go to the mic. Yeah.
First of all, thanks again for the talk. I'm curious, you're the only product manager in Colombia, right? Or
that's Black. They have a lot. Yeah.
Do you think there's people that actually have this, what is it, the product skills but don't just have the title, formal title of product manager?
Most likely, yeah. Most likely the title, but like not only the title, but like the role with the responsibilities. Like, I think there's well-prepared people ready to join an opportunity, but they just need like the opportunity per se. But
okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We spoke last night.
Yes.
We're growing our operations in Colombia. I've interviewed probably 200 Colombians over the last 8 months. Not a single Afro-Colombian. How do I find your community?
With me. I have the database, for sure. For sure. I will connect you for sure.
Very good.
Okay. Thank you.